What's good, folks? It's KnightmareFrame here with a new Warframe video, coming at you with an insane undying build for my man Atlas. Since the deluxe skin is on its way, giving you guys a build that will dominate to prep all the Atlas players that will be incoming that day. So I'm bringing you a great weapon synergy and combo, making this Atlas build bigger and bolder. Nobody? I thought I could get away with some rock puns, but I guess my plan wasn't rock solid. Really? I must say, this is all going downhill, but we haven't hit rock bottom just yet. I'm sorry. I'm giving y'all a whole load of schist, if you ask me. Alright then, let's move on. Let's all agree that was a rocky start. Sorry, last one, promise. So my Atlas build will be utilizing only 2 abilities, cause his 2nd and 4th aren't really worth building for. And come on, who wants a clunky AI golem to try and not succeed to kill anything? And unfortunately, his 2nd ability could be better, but it's just a slab of rock and can't protect anything. So yeah. Let's start with his first ability, Landslide. His One Punch Man ability, where he charges at a target and punches it. This ability scales with power, melee mods, and a combo counter. You're vulnerable to damage while using this ability. The more you attack, the more damage you do with it. The downside is that it does impact, so it has insane ragdolling. That's why we paired up with his 3rd ability, Petrify. This is Atlas's Medusa-like ability, where he turns anything in front of him into stone. They basically have to be in his sights. Petrified enemies take 50% more damage from other sources, but will be immune to status effects, just like Frost's Freeze and Gaara's Crystallization. But any status effects that was applied before petrification will remain until it's worn off. So petrified enemies hit by Landslide will shatter into rubble, and the rubble picked up by Atlas will heal him and grant him additional armor. So as long as Atlas maintains petrification and Landslide kills, he's basically immortal. The additional armor does degenerate over time if you haven't killed anything. Worst case scenario, if you're low on HP, there's always Magus Repair to heal you back up. But this combo will start to slow down when higher level enemy armor comes into play, as it struggles with armor. That's why you gotta strip armor before petrifying. In the footage you're watching, I'm using my Mara Detron to strip armor. I know the Mara Detron can be annoying to get, as you have to wait for Borrow to bring it or trade it with other players for a ridiculous price. So don't worry, any type of armor stripping weapon can work. That's why I have my own special armor stripping kit gun, the hefty Baby Maker. It's a 2-finger kit gun with a Ramble grip and Ram Flare loader, giving us 38% base status chance and some radiation. So it can have a similar build to the Mara Detron, but will reach 100% status chance with only 3 dual stat mods. If we compare the stats between the two, you can see the Baby Maker is far superior than the Mara Detron. And since this is a kit gun, we can apply arcanes to it. But before we get into the kit gun build, let's start off with the Warframe build first. So as we take a look at his build, it's a 2-forma build. The aura definitely has to be steel charge. Melee damage increase is another bonus to Atlas, and it gives us more mod capacity. And we are rocking 3 Umbral mods to boost his armor, power, and HP to the max. Rank 4 Streamline and Fleeting Expertise for max efficiency. Hunter Adrenaline to replenish energy when taking hits. But you need high level enemies, or otherwise you barely take any damage to replenish energy. Transient Fortitude for more power, and Adaptation for additive defenses. Also running 2 Arcane Guardians just for that additional tankiness. Moving on to our stat stick. In this case, I'm using the Mire. You could also use the Jaw Sword, as both these weapons have max Riven Disposition and Syndicate Augments. Why a Riven? Because it makes this an even stronger stat stick. A stat stick is a melee weapon that you don't use as a normal melee weapon, but rather to boost the damage of a Warframe's melee-like ability, with the mods equipped on the melee. Example, Gaara, Korra, and Atlas. So my Mire Riven has increased base damage, slash, and toxin. The build will be pure damage and elemental mods. The Toxic Blight augment to give us 100% increase toxin damage. Spoil Strike for more damage, but it does reduce the attack speed. But don't worry, as this does not affect Landslide whatsoever. Finally, Drifting Contact for our combo counter, as Landslide also scales with combo counters. But for people who want a budget stat stick that does not involve a Riven, try the Jatkatag, raw damage and 2 types of impact damage mods, elements, and finally Drifting Contact. You can also run with the Venka Prime, as its passive has a higher melee combo multiplier than all other weapons, allowing consecutive strikes to rack up even more damage. And now we move back to our armor stripping kit gun, the Hefty Babymaker. Hornet Strike and Magnum Force for overall damage, but I'm using the nice negative accuracy from Magnum Force for an even bigger spread, as the Tomb Figure has its little AoE splash damage when it makes contact with any surface. This helps it hit better when enemies are clumped up. Lethal Torrent and Barrel Diffusion for more fire rate and multi-shot, and 3 dual stat mods to give us Corrosive and Heat. I avoid going for Blast as we do not need it, and it's a bad CC to have when playing with Atlas. Pathogen rounds just to increase the toxin to boost our corrosive damage. And finally, I'm using Pax Charge, as this makes this weapon have infinite ammo and no longer needs to reload, which makes Atlas's armor stripping and petrify combo even more fluid. Moving on to Her Royal Highness Princess Fluffy Butt, my Adarza Kavat. Why? To boost crits with Cat's Eye, as Landslide is also affected by crit stats, and we do not have to reduce our damage on our stat stick, while we get nice consistent supply of crit buffs from our kitty. And with this build, it lasts slightly longer with the help of Tick Enhance, as it increased Kavat ability duration for 30%. And since this is an armor stripping build, I got Sharpened Claws to completely strip armor and swipe for more range. The good thing about this is that a Kavat can armor strip even when a target is petrified. Tech Assault is a defensive mod that makes the kitty go invulnerable if it takes lethal hits. Since we're not attacking the enemies with normal melee attacks, I saw no point in taking Pack Leader, as we cannot heal our kitty with Landslide. But this is where the Vazarin Focus Cool comes to save the day. With the help of Protective Dash, Void Dashing over allies makes them invulnerable for 5 seconds, and they are healed for 60% during the invulnerable state. And since I'm using Vazarin, this allows me to instantly revive any downed allies. So for those looking to punch enemies into the next dimension, enjoy this build. It's got all the good stuff to make Atlas the beast that he is. Honestly, I cannot wait for the deluxe skin myself so I can flex those rock hard glutes. So give this build a try and enjoy the frame. Alright folks, that's been it for me. I do hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you did, feel free to leave a like, share, and subscribe. For more, links will be in the description. Thanks for watching, and as always, peace.